This episode is brought to you by Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+. Rated TV MALV. Viewer discretion advised. Maya Lopez has betrayed her mentor, the notorious Kingpin. Now on the run, she returns to her hometown to prepare for the biggest fight of her life. Don't miss Marvel Studios' hardest-hitting series yet. An epic 5-episode event. Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+.
Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Doe, a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun. You don't know what's next?
Me, a name, I call myself for a long, long way to run.
So, a needle pulling thread.
Law, a note to follow, so.
Tea, a drink with jam and bread.
And it brings us back to
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now we're ready.
Totally lost me.
It is Thursday, y'all. Hello, this is April.
This is Caroline.
And that over there is...
Sweet pea.
He is back.
I'm back.
He back.
Yes, I am.
We haven't heard him in like 20 episodes?
It's been a while.
Ish, at least.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm ready.
he is back. That is Sweet Pea. For those of you who have not tuned in the whole time, that is Caroline's husband.
It is?
Yeah,
Oh
we've
my
been lying to you this whole time.
We have.
No,
We've
that is
confused everybody.
my husband.
Let me just tell you guys, I didn't get to say this the last time, whatever we recorded, that when we did the grandma
Jolly.
Jolly.
Uh-huh.
I still cannot get over that Grandma Jolly. I was yelling so loud, but I did not know we were putting all of it in. But it was. Have you heard of Grandma Jolly? Sweet
Nope.
Pea? See,
Never.
I'm so glad.
But he's from like the country. They didn't like.
He wasn't
They-
like locked
they
in a
didn't have
cage like I
phones.
was.
Nah,
Uh-uh.
man.
They didn't have
I mean-
phones. They just played outside with
What-
like random pigs and cows and.
Well, I played outside with the neighborhood kids, and we played like hide and go seek. I'd hide behind, just I don't know.
hide and go get it. Just play hide and go get it.
I don't know. And we go to
You
get
played
it.
that? What?
What's hide and go get it? What are you going to get? I didn't get it.
Hide and go get it is a game that you play with when you're older with people that you like. So they go hide, then you go and
And
get
then you
it.
go and get it. Yeah.
Get you some?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hide and go get it.
How old are y'all playing hide and go get it? It sounds like some kind of rape game.
Probably.
I didn't play it. I just know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
No, I never played
Likely
it either.
story. Well, I wish I would have played it, but I didn't. Just played.
Play it now. It
Okay.
can be an adult
I'm
game.
gonna start playing it. Let's see how many people I can get to play.
So, can you tell them what you're drinking? Since it's happy hour.
Well, I did find some Deep Eddies in my freezer,
Awesome.
so I'm sipping on
Always
that.
awesome.
And I got a backup bottle of wine
Back up.
because I
Menage a
just have
trois.
like half of a cup of this, so it's not super full. What are you drinking?
I am drinking to bring out my inner Beth Dutton. I'm drinking Pendleton
Wait, did we talk about who's Beth Dutton?
For every Yellowstone watcher out there, they will know.
Caroline has no idea who Beth Dutton is.
I don't.
Yes.
We just had this conversation.
So I'm
I know.
officially a whiskey drinker, and tomorrow I'm gonna start smoking Marlboro Lights. It's my 2020. That's my New Year's resolution.
There you go. You
Become
finally figured
Beth
it out.
Dutton.
You could drink those Lone Stars while you're smoking your cigarettes and drinking your whiskey. You can
Sweet
just.
Pea's got Lone Star.
Lone Star, that's for me. That's
He
my
said
drink.
because it doesn't make you gassy. That's
Yeah.
why you drink
No,
it.
There's an
But the
advertisement.
main reason is it's cheap.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, 18 pack, $16.
Yeah. Well,
$16.99.
Yeah,
you
then
can
there's
compare
my
it to-
cheap
like a
husband.
steal. It's like
Yeah.
he's saving money to spend
mean-
more on you.
That's my cheap husband.
See, that's how it works.
Well, I mean, it just makes better sense.
I mean, does
why
it
pay
taste
all that money for
good?
Dos Equis when Lone Star? Anyway, I ain't gonna say Lone Star tastes just as good, but I mean,
So it doesn't taste.
no, I mean
as-
it's good. I mean, my choice is Dos Equis, but when I'm feeling the cheap bug,
Yeah, you're just like
just
I
go with
want
Lone Star. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
I understand.
Good.
I understand.
There you go.
Caroline, I've been wanting to know about that case that you told us about.
Are we going to Court TV
Part
Corner?
1. Can you catch us up? Sweet Pea doesn't know anything about this case.
I'm going to give you all the details in a very summed up version.
Okay.
So we have this guy's on trial. He's 23 years old. His name's Chandler Halderson. He was accused of killing his parents, dismembering them, and then basically he burned some of their parts, and he spread some of their other parts like kind of out. This is in Wisconsin, so it's like out in the foresty areas.
Uh-huh.
So in June 2021 is when this happened. Bart and Krista Halderson are the parents. So they thought that their son had an internship with a insurance company, and that he worked there for like 6 or 7 months, and that he hadn't been paid. And they were just like, why haven't you been paid? They thought he was attending community college, that he had received something called a solar certificate for, I guess, some classes he went to. He said he was enrolled in this IT program at this community college, and that he was 1 class away from graduating. They also thought that he was 1 month away. So once he would graduate, then he was going to move to Florida to work at SpaceX. Why does everybody want to work at SpaceX when they're just making shit
Florida.
up?
Could
Yeah.
just come to McGregor.
Yeah.
Waco.
So then his dad became a little suspicious. Like, he's like, why is this big? Because he was working for this insurance company. Like, why is this big, like, insurance company not paying you? And it was like over a year had gone by, and the dad had talked with various people at the community college to see like why his son isn't getting his transcripts, and like he was trying to get meetings with some of the people and he couldn't get meetings with them, and he was like, why haven't we received his solar certificate? Like none of these things were happening. So then there's these 3 people, Aaron Hoover, Alyssa Brandt, and Daniel Spieth. All of these names came to a head when the dad called the college and talked to somebody from the admissions office. Well, that's when he learned that his son had never earned any solar certificate.
Just a liar.
He was not enrolled in IT program, and that his son actually owes the college over $1,000 because I think he had formerly gone to that college.
Oh.
And that the 3 names that I just mentioned, the dad asked the admissions person, and the guy was like, those people have never worked here. So then the dad texts Chandler, the son, and he's like, hey, I just talked to the community college, the admissions people. Like, we need to have a conversation. So the next thing you know, the parents go missing.
This guy sounds familiar.
So there was like
Well, not
shell casings. She's like, what?
I'll tell you.
There was some shell casings found in the garage. There was blood drops found by the fireplace, all over by the fireplace. There was a total of 230 bone fragments. that were found in the. So this fireplace had like a dust trap, or what's the dirt trap? I don't know. It's a fireplace that like the ash trap.
Oh.
I've never heard of an ash trap.
No.
Yeah, it sounds like an ass trap, but
Sounds
it's
like
ash.
some BDSM.
It does. It sounds like BDSM. I had to go back and listen again, make sure I went right. I was on the right channel. But you know that this ashes go into this thing. He didn't know about this ash trap either.
Ooh, so they checked it.
They checked the ash trap, and they found pieces of fragments of skull, hands, teeth, vertebrae, and legs.
Oh my God.
The blood that this kid, they call him Chaz. He called himself Chaz. He had blood found on the shoes, and he was wearing the shoes in the convenience store when he went to get 12 bags of ice because the fireplace broke because it busted because it got so hot that then he had to go put the rest of the body parts in the deep freezer.
Oh God.
Wow.
Listen, then he was like saying his parents, like, oh, they're going, because he lived with his parents. I say that. So he was like, oh, they were going to this their cabin with some friends. I guess they had this cabin a ways away. Well, later they found the mom's phone, like wrapped in like foil, put in a baggie inside of a shoe in a shoe box, like deep buried inside this closet. So he's like hiding the phones. He's hiding in these like,
Oh my God.
they find tools. They found a handsaw, scissors, pruning shears, an axe, and a keyhole saw, all with blood on them.
So he used all that to cut them.
There was one of the saws that the handle actually had been was broken off, and they said they called it false starts. So what he would do is he would literally like sawing their heads off or their parts off, break the handle off, and like I guess go to a different one, but like they could tell like it would match there's DNA all over it. So like July 7th, he reported his parents missing, and then on July 8th, he's Googling like body found in Wisconsin, dead body found. Like he's just trying to see if anybody's found, because what he did was he cut them all up. He went to like his girlfriend's house, and they live like on a bunch of land, and he went out there, and meanwhile he's like lying about obviously.
So he dumped random pieces of their body
all over
the parts that he didn't burn.
Right, because
So they're spread out all over Wisconsin.
Yeah, because the fireplace busted.
Okay,
And he put them in the deep freezer. That's why he went and got all that ice.
And then he like told his girlfriend like, "Hey, bring like all these chemicals to help clean." And I don't know, the girlfriend didn't know because she just whatever. I mean, I
just doing what
But or he said he had cut it. Like there was reasons for all of it. Like he made up, I need this because of this, and I need this. Like he said he cut his toe, and I don't know, whatever. But this, awful.
And it's not over with yet.
It just was over today.
Okay.
They wrapped up the case. The defense was awful. I'm pretty sure it was like an appointed defense attorney because this defense, like literally, they had no witnesses. They had nobody. Like they closed the case. They didn't have anybody come up. They didn't have anybody come up there.
Yeah, I mean.
And then I don't know who you would, but then after they're giving their closing statements, and like literally the only thing that she got right was like she didn't get lipstick on her teeth. Like that's all she got. Like she did a good job putting on her lipstick, but that's all. Like nothing. It was terrible. It took less than 2 hours for them to come up with. I mean, there was no other evidence against.
Yeah.
Like they had nothing.
Yeah.
So
I'm eager to see what he's going to get.
Oh, he was found guilty for 8 charges. He was on 8 charges. They came back with the verdict,
minimum.
Guilty on all of them. And they don't have the death penalty there, so most likely he'll get life and hopefully without parole.
Did he have any siblings?
Yes. He has a brother. I think just a brother.
Oh, those poor siblings.
And look at these parents. They're just like.
Oh my goodness. She looks like Catherine Knight, actually.
She kind of does.
Wow.
So sad. So sad. They're going to get his ass in prison.
Oh, I tweeted about it. I said, you're guilty. Don't drop the soap. That's all I said. Are we ready?
ready.
Sweet Pea, do you know who Matt Baker is?
Yes, I do. I remember that case.
Do you?
Yeah.
April, did you listen to my last Marco Polo?
I can't believe y'all still do that.
Yes.
Well, did you know that Russ Hunt represented?
I didn't remember that.
I didn't either until today. So we're going to have to call him back.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. So we ended with the finding of Kari Baker, non-responsive, in her home. She's died, and we're all thinking that this is a suicide.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like, a suicide. There is evidence that shows that this is what it looks like it is. There's pills by her bed, there's drinks by her bed, and this is what her husband is saying. Like, this is what
There's
happened.
a note.
There's a note. Yeah.
Judge Billy Martin didn't even get out of the bed, and he declared it a suicide.
No, yeah, he straight up just like probably texted him, yeah, suicide. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm tired.
I guess he's a judge. Justice of the peace, instead of coming to look at the scene, he just did it over the phone and said, "Yeah, go ahead and declare it a suicide."
Yeah.
So there was no further investigation.
So here we go. Less than a week after the funeral, Matt Baker returns to Crossroad Baptist to preach the Easter sermon. So Linda and Jim Doolin are Kari's parents.
Mm-hmm.
So they were there, and they were like under the impression that, like, for reasons they could never understand, that Kari took her life. And they didn't think Matt had anything to do with it. Nothing. They were just like anybody else, just like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. But the week after Easter, Linda's 3 sisters and her niece, so it's Nancy and Kay and Jennifer. These are the girls' names. And the niece is named Lindsay. They told Linda that none of them trusted Matt. They never liked him, and that they had heard a bunch of stories about a bunch of his sexual indiscretions. So she told, one of them said that there was a teenage girl who had come to see Cassidy. So Cassidy was their daughter who died.
Who he killed.
Who we think he could have had something to do with her death. That he told that, so when Cassidy was at the hospital, the niece Lindsay was there, and Lindsay had a friend, and Matt like hit on the friend and said, hey, like rubbed on her, put his hand on her leg and said, hey, there's a visitor's room over there. It's empty. You want to go in there with me? What?
Oh my gosh.
And then another one said, so this is the 3 sisters. Another one said that Matt had come up to their daughter one evening, hugged her like real suggestively, brushed his hand against her breast and asked if she was wearing panties.
Oh my goodness.
Like, so creepy. And then Kari's therapist had told Kari, in the last session, like before she had died, she had said that, like, she had told them that Matt. So, like, Kari had said that that she thought that he was cheating on her.
Okay.
So these are all the things that Linda, the mom, didn't know about, that the sisters were telling her about.
So before Kari died, they didn't express any concern with
Right.
anybody. They just closed their mouth.
Yeah.
I have an
And
issue.
it was just like a few days before, like she had just gone to see this therapist and told her these things maybe a couple of days before she was murdered, or she was killed, or she died.
Yeah.
So all these women, they call themselves Charlie's Angels.
Okay.
So they start meeting. They're like, okay, we got to do something. Because Linda at first was like, no, I don't believe it. I don't want to do anything with it. And then she finally was like, okay, maybe let's look into it. So they try to retrace the steps of Matt, like the night that Kari died. And they went to the videos, because he said he went to the video store. They went there. They went to ask the clerk to see if Matt had rented a movie. He had rented a movie. they went and like looked. I guess like the trash was out on the curb when they went over there to the house, and they like saw some things, and there was like a cooler, I think, that like Linda had given them, and like it was in the trash, and so she got it out of the, I don't know, they got some stuff out of the trash. So they were DTF. So yes, they were absolutely hunting. So they found some papers and photos. Like he had thrown out like all photos, like any trace of Kari was thrown out. And like the niece Lindsay went in the house, and she's like, there was no trace of Kari.
This is
like this is just days after.
Like days.
Okay, days.
This is just days after.
Wow.
He just got rid of all the traces.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. So they did this for a couple of days, and they really weren't getting anywhere because they didn't really know what to do next, because they're just trying to be like, CSI over here, but they don't really know what to do next. So Linda was like, well, let me check my phone bill, because what happened was she had Matt and Kari's phones on her plan because they had just recently moved back to Waco. And so they had added their cell phone plans to her account. And so they wouldn't have to like pay a deposit. So she noticed that he had been calling this certain number over and over since January. And so he looked up the number, and he noticed that it was like this. It was the number for this guy who was like a music minister at the church. Well, his daughter was named Vanessa Bulls, and that's the one who was using that phone. So Vanessa Bulls is a 24-year-old, and she was recently divorced. She's the mother of an infant daughter, just has a little baby, and she would periodically go to Crossroads. And so they concluded that she was seeing Matt.
Yes.
So Linda goes straight to the Hewitt Police Department. She's like, please launch an investigation. Like, there's something that's wrong here. Like, this is not adding up. They told her that there was no evidence, that she was wasting her time, and like, basically, no. They're like, nope, it's over. Bye. Nothing. They wouldn't give her any time. So she decided
this is Hewitt Police?
Hewitt, yeah. So she decided she's going to take it into her own hands, and she calls a guy named Bill Johnston. He is a lawyer in Waco. So here's what we know about Johnston. He spent 13 years as a prosecutor with the U.S. Attorney's Office. He was known for taking on cases other prosecutors didn't want to take on or didn't think they could win. And his most famous case is he started the investigation that led to the arrest and conviction of serial killer Kenneth McDuff.
Oh, okay.
And in the early 90s, he found himself in a high-stakes political showdown. That would be with the Department of Justice, and he claimed that he had evidence suggesting that the FBI had lied about its actions during the siege of the Branch Davidians.
Compound.
Yes. So he was eventually charged with obstruction of justice for not producing all of the notes about that situation. He ended up pleading guilty for a lesser charge, and he was allowed to keep his law license, but I guess he was looked at because he kind of went against, the group. But the president of the State Bar of Texas said that he was a hero for standing up to the government. But he's mostly done civil litigation since then, and he's always been a prosecutor at heart. And there was no question whenever he saw the Matt Baker investigation, he was like, this is a chance for me to return to my old role, and I'll accept his case because nobody else wanted to.
Okay.
So is he still practicing law, or
he's still around here? I tried to call him to get him on. Maybe we can
Bill, where you at?
Where you at, Bill?
Come hang with us.
So he brought his team of investigators. You might know some of these names. Former Deputy U.S. Marshal Mike McNamara.
Okay.
And former Department of Public Safety undercover agent John Bennett.
Oh.
So this is his team, and they do a lot. everything.
Okay.
And then Johnson was convinced that Matt had done it. He was convinced. There's no question.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Yes.
Bennett said it seemed like every expert they talked to about Kari's death, said that it could not have happened the way that Matt said it had. So Matt said that he was gone for about 40 minutes and that, but Kari's body was already showing signs of lividity, which is like pooling after death. And the experts were saying that it was unlikely that Kari could have had ingested the drugs, died, and reached that state in such a short period of time.
40 minutes.
So Matt's like, it's just impossible for what he was claiming.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so she'd been in there dead for a while. Then he staged the whole.
Yes. In addition, there was records that were salvaged from his where he worked, like the server.
Waco Center for Youth?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So, and there were incriminating evidence. So it was showing that Matt had searched like overdose, and he searched terms death by sleeping pills. And so Johnston was like, Hewitt PD dropped the ball on this one. Because they did not order an autopsy. And so, and like they just totally went and they classified it as suicide. So at this point, this is the evidence so far that we have. We have a suicide note on her nightstand with no signature. However, there are pens on the table right next to it where she could have easily and conveniently signed it. Okay. Then we have the computer. What? Yeah, the computer network servers from Waco Center for Youth. 1 month before Kari died, Matt searched online, like I said, overdose sleeping pills, and he searched for Ambien, and he searched websites. He actually put Ambien in like a cart. I don't know how they can see all this stuff. That's so creepy.
Wow.
Like they said it was in the cart, but he didn't purchase it.
Wow.
I don't know if whatever, but I think they even had somebody come and testify.
Probably because he was like, oh, this can be traced back to me. Let me go buy some Unisom.
Well, what happened was I think that he stole it. He tried to say he got it from Kari's mom, but she was
Unisom?
Ambien.
But
because Ambien was traced in her body.
Oh, okay.
So he had to get Ambien somewhere. He didn't order online. So Vanessa's parents, one of them took Ambien.
Oh.
But he blamed it on Kari's mom because Kari's mom was prescribed Ambien after Kari's murder.
Uh-huh.
So he tried to say,
because she couldn't sleep. She was probably so devastated.
So Matt's explanation was...
But wait, on the crime scene, it was a Unisom bottle, right?
It was a Unisom bottle.
So he acted like she took Unisom, but in her system was Ambien.
Ambien, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'll get into the traces of everything. Yeah. So his explanation was, it scared him that this is his explanation for why he's Googling these things, is that it scared him that she was taking so much medication at night to sleep. He didn't feel like it was necessary to tell the doctor, though, because he felt like she was getting it under control. So he's like contradicting himself because he's like so scared and worried, but then he's not going to say anything about it. So if you're that
controlled,
yeah, like if you're that worried, like obviously you're not that worried about it. So they start searching for Matt's work computer to go actually find his work computer, and they found the computer that's on his desk was not his computer. So someone had replaced his work computer with another computer, and it was his secretary's computer, and Matt's was vanished. So his computer at his work was completely just gone. And when they were searching his home computer, it's gone as well.
How convenient.
And according to Matt,
there's a computer thief out there.
His hard drive crashed, and it was fried. So he got rid of it.
They're in Lake Waco.
Yeah, it's in Lake Waco.
The divers are going to find that next.
Divers, yeah.
And then also a crushed bottle of pills was Kari had found in Matt's briefcase. Okay, just a few days before this. And Kari, she said she confronted Matt about it, and Matt said he had no idea where this bottle of pills came from, and he'd never seen it before. He had no clue where she would even got it from.
Okay.
Okay.
So innocent.
So this is the evidence that Johnston's working with. So then he finally is like, okay, we have to get an autopsy. We've got to get this. And he can't get it out of the authority. He can't get it out of Hewitt Police. So he calls Texas Ranger
Matthew
Coffin.
He is actually running for something right now. Have you seen it?
No, but promo. Maybe he needs to come on and give an interview.
I tried.
So even at this point, Hewitt PD
No.
won't do an autopsy.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
So they have Matt Coffin go there, and so Texas Rangers is like a statewide law enforcement team. Okay, so he calls them to help. So Coffin eventually convinces Hewitt PD to do an autopsy. This is 3 months after Kari died. So the results come in, and there's still no proof of how she died. There's no remnants of pills in her stomach, like full pills, but there was evidence of Ambien in her muscle tissue. The manner of death was changed from suicide to undetermined, meaning the drugs did not kill her. The autopsy found that her lungs were clear, which meant that she didn't like aspirate and she didn't choke on her own like fluids, which would result in her death. So you're like, well, what killed her if she didn't choke on anything, because
she suffocated.
Yes. Johnson brought in some other guy, Tom Bevel, and he was like specialized in homicide crime scenes. He studied the photos that had been taken, and on the night of her death, he noticed significant bruising around her lips, which led him to believe that this could have been caused by someone using a pillow to suffocate her.
Oh my goodness, that's what he did to Cassidy too.
Yes. Yeah. So in September 2007, this is a year and a half later after she died, the police, they have finally decided that they have a homicide. And they arrest Matt Baker.
Finally.
So this is
when it could have been like within weeks if they had done it earlier.
Yes. So he.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm confused. I mean, the justice of the peace just called in and said, "Oh, we're gonna rule it as a suicide," and he said, "Oh, okay, suicide. That's it."
This is the thing. He was a preacher. That's why. That's it.
This is what I have a college professor, psychology professor. He said the most powerful person in the world is a white Protestant, like Christian male, because people, especially that Christian, that Baptist label, once you got that label, people cannot see the dirty that you can do. Look at Dave Bliss. Look what he got away with, right? So Matt Baker got away with all these allegations for all these years because he's got that preacher label.
Yep.
Plus he's male. That gives him the one up, and he's white. Yep.
And that's it. That's what they've said. Like, they're like, it's why did they not even do it? And they're like, because he's a preacher. It's a small town. People know who he is.
Yeah.
Or at least I guess they did. But
wow.
I mean,
really disappointed in Hewitt PD. Wow.
Yeah. We better go have a talk with him.
No. Not yet.
But really, I think it started off at the Justice of the Peace, because had he just shown up maybe and seen the letter.
Do you typically just.
That's what I don't get. I mean,
how do you do it?
I feel like it's just laziness. I feel like the cops were just like, oh, the husband said she committed suicide. Okay, well, suicide, bye.
You get comfortable.
Yeah.
Literally? Really?
I've always
known. And that's the person we should trust the least is a white Protestant male. Look at all the people we're talking about.
I know. I mean, hell, Alec Murdaugh. Shit. Are they too busy? No.
Right.
No, it's Hewitt.
Yeah. So
I've just always known the justice of the peace to have to go get up no matter what time it is. Go to the actual crime scene or whatever.
I don't know how that.
And
I don't know.
Not just make a determination over the phone. I've never heard of that.
Nope. Well, it didn't. So finally, he's arrested, and then he is charged with murder. He was released on bond because he got an attorney. This attorney is Guy James Gray, and this guy took on his case pro bono. What luck.
Why?
Matt's case pro bono.
Yes.
Oh,
Why?
he probably just wanted that.
So this guy was from, I think, Kerrville also.
Yeah.
He goes through a whole lot too. So I'll tell you about that. And he took it on because he believed in his case, and he really believed that he was innocent. Because so, as to why it took Hewitt Police Department so long to file charges, because some sources say that the detectives and the police chief were skeptical of the evidence Johnston and his team had found. But they just didn't want to reopen the case, and they didn't want to admit that they had botched the initial investigation.
Pride.
So by this time, Matt is working as a minister for Baptist Student Union at Kerrville, whatever, university, and he's working as a substitute teacher, which is great. But he lost both jobs because obviously he was arrested. So when he was asked about Vanessa Bulls, because that's where the mom traced the phone number back to, was this Vanessa Bulls, he was asked, and he said they did not start seeing each other or dating or anything until after Kari died, and they had started seeing each other. And he was like, Kari never. He insisted Kari never accused him of having an affair, although from the therapist, she had already told the therapist that she thought that Matt was having an affair. And so he said that story that the therapist told was just completely untrue. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does she have?
What does she have? A
What
degree
is she gonna
in
gain?
Yeah. What is she gonna
for lying?
So he admitted to doing a Google search for overdose by sleeping pill, but he said he only did that because he noticed that she was taking more sleeping pills than usual, and he was worried about her. He denied purchasing any medicine online, and he said that he purchased this liquid concoction that was supposed to make him and Kari feel more sexual. And as for the mystery of the missing computer, he said that anyone could have stolen his computer. I mean, he rarely locked his door at his office.
What a douche.
But it's but that's the only time that it's ever came up missing.
Yeah.
Or nobody else's computer came up missing.
No. It's just him.
His.
Yeah.
Just having
targeted.
Yeah.
So 6 months after he's arrested, there's some changes that happen. So assistant district attorney, so this is the ADA, Crawford Long, decided that it was too risky to take Matt Baker to trial.
What?
Because here's the thing.
I don't ever remember his name.
Did not like Johnston.
Oh, Crawford didn't.
Crawford did not like Bill.
Okay.
So that's, I think, kind of what's in the background.
Wow.
So he dropped all the murder charges.
What?
He said the evidence was too speculative and you could not get beyond a reasonable doubt with that. So, what you got?
But this is good evidence. This isn't like Lake Waco murders evidence where it's like jailhouse inmates that got to screw their girlfriend and in the room to confess.
But they don't have Vanessa saying anything. They don't have
it's all
I mean, they have the computers and they have the searches, but I don't know how hard of a proof that is. I don't know.
It's all circumstantial,
I guess.
So just because this ADA doesn't like this guy,
I guess the district attorney has to approve it to go to trial, or
bring up charges.
And so he didn't, and so the assistant was like, "No, we can't. We can't take it. Sorry, we're not taking this to trial." Yeah, you got to go testify before the grand jury, and then that decides if you go to trial. Because if they're thinking you're guilty, indict. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
get on then, Carol.
I got it.
Dang
it. Linda is like, hell no. She decides she's going to sue him for wrongful death. I don't even know how this shit works, but she obviously has done her research.
Shit, good.
So this is just loopholes, just getting around whatever.
Good.
So Johnston is like, he's hoping that there's some new evidence they might dig up for the civil case. I mean, there's all these different words. But he's hoping to rebuild a criminal case. And in a civil case, he could depose Matt under oath and on camera. So what Matt Baker did not anticipate was that the assistant DA Crawford Long and the prosecution team, he did not believe that Matt killed Kari.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the problem was proving it, and all the evidence prosecutors had was circumstantial, like you said. So, meaning circumstantial evidence is you are being at the scene at the time of the incidents, right? Yeah. Okay. So what they had to get was the testimony of Vanessa Bulls. That was going to be like the smoking gun. So they suspected she knew some of Matt's secrets, which she did. But the only thing she had admitted so far was that she dated Matt Baker, and it was only after Kari died. Prosecutors brought in this. So she had even she was questioned by Hewitt Police Department. She didn't say anything. They let her go. Whatever. This guy, Abden Rodriguez, who works with the district attorney's office, I think they brought him in as an investigator to go in and he apparently had a reputation for convincing the witnesses to talk, apparently.
Okay. So
he interviewed her, and he watched the interview of her with Hewitt PD, and he was like, I know she's lying. I know she's lying. I know she's lying. So the prosecution subpoenaed her to testify before the grand jury. Okay. So he gave, Crawford Long gave Vanessa Bulls immunity, promising not to use her testimony against her. But on the stand, Vanessa still stuck with her story and said that she never knew anything. Matt never told her anything about Kari's death, blah, blah, blah. And then they asked her again. They were like, okay, are you sure? There's nothing that you need to tell us. You are testifying here. It's kind of a big, and they're shocked when she responds. And she says, yes, he told me I killed her for you.
Oh, shit.
And
really,
she added that Matt told her he had smothered Kari.
Really?
Yes.
And bitch is that thirsty, single mom, that she just thought it was romantic and, and continued to date him.
Yes.
That's a sacrifice he did for our relationship.
Yes.
Dirty.
Shit.
Nearly
thirsty. Yeah.
Listen, nearly 3 years after Kari's death.
It took her 3 years to say this.
So it took 3 years before they could finally indict him.
Okay.
So yeah, 3 years after Kari's death, Crawford Long had all the proof he needed to finally indict Matt Baker. Baker has always denied the affair, so no one in the courtroom was prepared for what the defense attorney, Guy James Gray, I'm going to call him Gray from now on because that's hard to say, he was like, they didn't want him to testify because, they didn't really know what he was going to say. But everything that Baker had already said previously in any other interviews could be used against him. So they were like, well, okay. Because he had interviewed with at this point, he had done 48 hours. Mm-hmm. He had done probably Dateline. I mean, there was a bunch of things. Interviews with. He just had said over and over he never had the affair with Vanessa before Kari's death, and there were like depositions saying that with like the 911 call, like his statement to police, that saying like Kari was so depressed and that. I remember Vanessa.
Well, I guess she already went to the church, but she kind of moved up and sat in the front, right? Like kind of where the first lady of the church, like the preacher's wife, like she kind of moved herself there. But this was like within a year. I still think that's early.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
too soon.
Yeah. No, it was all too soon. So like, yeah.
No, I was just wondering. So whenever she testified and said that, he told her he smothered her and all this.
Oh, I'm about to get into the whole
were they still together?
Testimony. Oh, yeah.
They were still together at that time?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at the time she testified?
Yeah.
At the time she testified, no, they weren't together.
Okay. Gotcha.
But, yeah. No, they weren't.
So then people can say, oh, she's just mad because they broke up.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm about to get into all of that.
Yeah.
I'm about to tell you the whole.
Gotcha.
So 4 days into the trial comes the moment everyone's been waiting for. On the stand is Vanessa Bulls. She's 27 now. So they were like, the biggest concern was that there was a lot available for attack by the defense, because for years and years and years she had lied about their whole relationship. And they were like, well, we're going to take a chance because we're pretty confident that we know that what she's about to say is true. So Vanessa takes a stand, and this is what she says. She begins by telling the jury that she met Matt and Kari in September of 2005 when Matt was a pastor. About 3 months later, she said Matt spotted her sitting alone in the sanctuary before the service started and asked her about how her divorce was going, because she was going through divorce. And he said to her, whoever finds you is going to be a lucky man. I think Sweet Pea told me that a couple times.
Hey, is that your line? Yeah, that's real familiar.
So then Vanessa and Matt started calling. So Matt started calling her regularly. He asked if she needed counseling, and then he decided that he was just going to start counseling her.
Oh, for what?
Oh,
Just
because she was going through a divorce.
Gotcha.
Yep. So he started off like real gross and like flirty with her and like real gross, I'm sure. And he was like, oh.
He was so gross.
Don't date any other guys. Just date your pastor.
Really?
You're
yeah.
Like he was like chubby and red and like gray teeth and slimy.
Oh, all of the above.
He's like the white version of Ariel Castro.
Oh,
he was horrible.
Great. Wow. You know what? You described him to a T.
Yes.
Slimy and red and gross with gray teeth.
Gray teeth. He was gross.
I think you are so accurate. So during their counseling sessions, quote, Matt would talk about Kari. He would tell Vanessa that she was so depressed, that she had become a horrible mother and a horrible wife. He said he had become Mr. Mom and did everything for their daughters except for fix their hair. In February 2006, Matt told her that he and Kari were no longer having sex. And that because she was just so depressed. So then in March, he invited Vanessa over to their house for their counseling sessions and said that while Kari was at work, this was one of the times she came over. While Kari was at work, the kids were at school. And they were having a counseling session. This is whenever her car was, one of the neighbors saw that her car was parked in the garage, and the garage
on
was
Crested Butte down the road.
Crested Butte.
Is it Butte or Butte?
It's Butte, but Butte.
Crested.
It's an elephant butt. That's like that other story that I told in New Mexico, elephant butt.
Oh yeah. They're right down the road from you. Like
we're basically neighbors.
Yeah, you were neighbors with Matt Baker.
I'm probably gonna go by their house tonight.
And there's people living there. I wonder if they know.
I should tell them.
I think you have to disclose
it. Do you think I should knock on the door and be like,
Can I interview
Can
you?
I? Can
I
you
see the room?
listen to this episode first before you live the rest of your life here?
No, it's sad.
Yeah. So during their counseling session, Matt, you are so generous. You're so nice. He asked if he could hold her hand to pray. Aw.
See, you can't play
Right.
with Jesus
Making
like
moves.
that.
Making
There's one
moves.
thing to like do it, but then don't play with Jesus
No,
too.
but
with
you know
it.
what? Then he like gently kissed her. This is turning into a. He then led her into the bedroom where they had sex.
While she was still alive, right?
Yeah, Kari's still alive.
Yeah,
So,
Kari
yeah.
at work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She at work.
she's
She's
still
at
alive.
work.
Yeah.
She down the road at,
Cars
at
in the
Midway
garage.
ISD.
Yeah.
Cars in the garage.
She has
Garage
Spring Valley.
closed, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he told her that, he's like, he got a vasectomy and that he was free of sexual diseases.
That don't.
Good job, Matt.
A vasectomy clears you of STDs.
He said
Wow.
he said he had a vasectomy and he was clear of sexual disease.
Oh, okay.
So-
I thought. Okay.
So
gotcha.
basically, let me raw dog you.
Basically. Basically.
Hatless.
Matt admitted he cheated on Vanessa a few times while living in Dallas and that she was clueless.
She don't carry.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Really?
Oh.
So he's just telling
Who?
Vanessa all his dark secrets.
Yep. He said he wanted Kari out of his life and that there was no way he could divorce her without ruining his career. So he might as well kill her. Yeah. Why would
It's so crazy how people think that's the best option.
I don't get it.
Not option C, like the only option.
I know.
And that's the Baptist for you, right? I can't shame myself with the divorce. Let me kill her.
Like, how does that even make sense?
It's crazy.
No. Just divorce, be
just get
criticized,
divorced.
pay
Like,
your
for a
child
minute.
support.
Get over
and
it.
go
You
on with your
literally have
life.
like a month of people talking about it, and then
Right, right.
somebody else will get divorced and they'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Matt started talking about how he wanted to kill Kari, and this is her testimony. Matt said he started talking about how he wanted to kill Kari and make it look like a suicide. She said, quote, he talked about putting something in her milkshakes. He talked about wanting to make it look like she had hung herself. He said that Linda Doolin had a pharmacy in her house and that it would be easy to go into her house and take drugs. He said he told her that he ordered chloroform online. Chloroform, more like boroform. And that he had gone to a poor area of Waco to try to buy roofies or the date rape drug, and then began talking about tampering with her brakes of her car.
Oh.
Or maybe doing a drive-by shooting.
Oh my God.
This
So
is
this is active
all-
conversation between him and
Yes.
Vanessa.
Yes. Matt then admitted to Vanessa that he had been doing the husbandly duty by going out on date nights, and he had been having sex with Kari while they were seeing a counselor. And it's like, I mean, he hated having sex with her, and he called her a fat bitch in her lingerie. Like, he's telling all of this to her. So she said by late March that Matt told her that he decided to murder Kari on one of their date nights, and he was going to make it look like a suicide because he couldn't stand how depressed she was. The next thing she knew was the morning of April 8th, Vanessa, when her mom came in, because she's living at their house, came in and told her that Kari had died the previous night. And she said she was shocked. She never thought he would really go through with it.
Yeah.
And
Bullshit. She wanted him to.
she went over there to pay her sympathies.
Oh, it's even worse.
And he looked at her and winked at her.
Really?
That's horrible.
Yes. Then 5 days later, she met with Matt one-on-one. And he told her that he was just going to tell her one time what happened.
She should have recorded it.
She should have. So this is what she said. The night of Kari's death, he said he never wanted to talk about it again. He told her that he emptied the inner contents of sex stimulus capsules. So remember how I said earlier he like ordered some liquid, but I guess he ordered these like capsules online, and they were trying to like, because Kari at this point in their relationship was like really trying to work on it because she felt estranged. She felt like he was like stepping out. So she was trying to really like throw it down.
Yeah.
So she said, so Kari had apparently bought these. Okay, maybe so Kari bought those. So he bought the liquid. Okay, so this is to improve the sex drive. So he apparently filled these capsules with crushed Ambien. He clearly got those from the youth center. So he gave her some alcohol and along with those Ambien-filled capsules, waited for her to pass out. He said he kissed her on the forehead, asked her to give Cassidy a kiss for me. Cassidy, the daughter who's died already. Yes.
Right.
Then he put a pillow to Kari's face. After a few seconds, he thought she was dead. Suddenly, she took one big last gasp for air. And he said, "Oh shit," and put a pillow back over her face, making his hand into like a cup shape, pressing down on the pillow, and suffocated her.
That's why her lips are bruised.
That's why her lips are bruised.
I mean, I'm not a cop, but isn't...
Then he told Vanessa that he typed a fake suicide note on the bedroom computer, printed it out, rubbed her fingers all over it to leave fingerprints, put it on the bedside table with alcoholic drinks, then the bottle of Unisom. He locked the door. He left. He drove off to rent the movie. He came back, busted the door open, and then he waited about a minute or so to call 911.
Wow.
And then Matt said to Vanessa, "You know you're stuck with me, right?" He said, "Because you know about it and you are just as guilty as I am."
Yeah, you are.
He also added, "God is a forgiving God. And God has forgiven and God has forgiven me." So he's saying that God's forgiven him.
Oh my goodness.
Way to go, Matt.
Wow.
I can't. Did I tell you that that's how I told Alyssa that I thought Brad was going to kill you?
Oh, by
that same way. No,
by drugging me?
Ambien.
Oh, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
I think he got too messed up to worry about killing me. He was just worried about getting his high. Yeah.
He was like, "That's fine. Let me just go get high."
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So after Kari's death, just wait till you hear about his parents. His parents explains it all. Listen, when somebody says it's the parents, it's always. I am convinced it's always the parents. I don't care. It's always the parents. After Kari's death, they started a full-blown relationship, but Vanessa admitted that she became very worried that she could be held responsible in some way for Kari's murder, or at least for having not said anything. Not shocked. So she said, this is funny, that he had sent her lyrics from an All-American Rejects song, Dirty Little Secrets, you know? Do you want me to play it?
No.
I'll keep you my dirty little secrets.
Dirty little secrets.
Who has to know? And so
That's why the book is called Dirty Little Secrets.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, you're about to say that. I'm sorry.
Well, no. So one line of this. So it's like the line of the lyrics went, "I'll keep you my dirty little secret. Don't tell anyone, or you'll be just a little regret." So it's like, you'll be just a little regret.
Okay.
Yeah. So Vanessa said he didn't threaten her really harshly, but he was just letting her know like what he had done. And so then a few weeks passed, and she got a call from Linda Doolin, Kari's mom, telling her that she had a private investigator and had become like, she was going to get Kari's body exhumed, And Vanessa told Matt, and Matt said, you better not tell the investigators what I've done. And then later he ended up moving to Kerrville, and because of all the stuff going on in Waco, and she called him and she ended things saying, we don't worship the same God. And Matt said over and over, I killed my wife for you, and now you're leaving me? You're leaving me? And
she would be next.
Really?
Like, she could be with him, but he would kill her too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So Vanessa's testimony about Matt confessing and her, like, it totally caught Matt's defense off guard. Like, they did not know. And he, like asked her, why should they believe her? Like, why should they believe her? She's lied several times. And she said that, she's like, what do I have to gain from it? Mm-hmm. She was like a school teacher for Killeen ISD at the time. And she's like, I have nothing to gain from this. I have everything to lose. Like, this is what happened. I don't know. I shouldn't say it earlier, but whatever. She said she could lose her job, which I'm sure she did. And she said she's sitting here because a manipulative liar wearing a mask of God came into my life, and I'm here to put him where he needs to be, which is good. So she said that he victimized her. He victimized Kari. He victimized the girls and the daughters, his two daughters.
Because he ended up taking them away.
Yes, because when he moved, so he left and moved out of Waco to Kerrville, took the kids with him. And this whole time, he's like putting this wall up between Kari's parents, the Doolins, and him. And he's starting to like put the seed into their heads that like, it's like
they're crazy.
They're bad. Like, this is all very familiar.
And yes. And okay, so now the Doolins lost their daughter. Then they lose their grandkids, and it happens pretty quick. Like, he starts ignoring them.
Yes.
He starts not letting them go over there.
Yep.
And then like he puts that wall up.
Oh yeah,
really quick, and that made them even more
seeds of doubt immediately.
I feel like one of the daughters still, the one that was a daddy's girl, kind of still didn't believe. I mean, like,
probably the older one
didn't want to have a relationship with the Doolins.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
No, because
it took a while. Like,
by
she had
the
a lot of
time all this
resentment.
happened, I mean, they were like 16 and 11. So you got to think about, I mean, you got a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I mean, so Vanessa says that she says that he victimized her, he victimized Kari, victimized the girls, and he thinks that he can do it again and again. And she admitted that she was at fault for not opening her mouth and doing anything, but she hoped that her testimony would get her over the guilt and that everything had been said and that she can wash her hands clean of it. So it took the jury over 7 hours to reach a verdict. Matt Baker was found guilty of first-degree murder. And after the trial, Matt's attorney said, this is crazy. His attorney said that since the day Matt walked into his office, so pushed Matt to tell him like everything he could to prepare for the trial. He was like, make sure you're telling me everything. Like, it's getting closer. I need to make sure I know everything. Matt continued to like deny having a like sexual relationship with Vanessa beforehand, over and over. And it got closer and closer. And finally, Matt confessed to his attorney that he had been lying and that he did have a sexual relationship with Vanessa before Kari died. And so his attorney was pissed, filed a motion to be taken off the case due to breach of confidence with his client, but new counsel would have delayed the trial, and the judge denied his request.
Oh, yeah.
So this whole time, like, this attorney is like
in his corner.
Is like not wanting to be his attorney.
Oh, after.
And this is the one from Kerrville.
This
Guy.
is the Kerrville
one that was
guy,
doing it.
James Gray.
Yeah.
Who, yeah. So after the trial, the attorney is like, since the day that Matt walked into my office and told me that he had been lying, he said he would only talk to him for like strict legal necessities, like under no other circumstances. He had no other conversations with him. And prior to the trial, he had asked to be like taken off the case, but he still remained the lawyer, and he like did his duties of what he should do and he did the best that he could do based on what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't want to be there and do it, but he did what he had to do. And he said that he was sorry that he ever had took the case in the beginning, and that his life had been he had been forced to go to trial. He's never been forced to go to trial in his life, and he didn't think that he was on the right side. He said this is the hardest thing. This is the hardest one he'd ever had to do.
Wow.
It's crazy. Matt was then sentenced to 65 years with possibility of parole, still denies everything he did to his wife, and
to his wife. Oh, what he did to his wife.
He denied what he did to his wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did I say the other day? He had come up for parole in 2020, but it was denied.
Good.
Yeah.
I bet as long as the Doolins or somebody in the family's alive and can be there at those parole hearings, I bet it'll be denied.
And so this is the last part. And this, to me, just nail in the coffin. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. So at this point, they have their two kids. They have they have Kinsey and Grace. The two little girls. So they have their mom's dead. Their dad's in jail. Where do they live? So they're currently living with the Bakers, with Matt's parents. Oscar and Barbara. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the Doolins, they want the kids.
Yeah.
They're like, we want our babies. They've already it's already strained. Matt's already put this wall up between them. He's already manipulating them to believe that Kari's parents are horrible for some reason. Like they've done nothing wrong. So they just didn't know what to do. So they were like, we think that they hate us, and I'm sorry too.
Girl, Apple Watch.
Yeah. So they feared that since the kids were living in the Baker's home, that they were never, they were never going to see him again, whatever. They knew that they were going to be convinced to hate them. Mm-hmm. That's what had been happening. So they knew it was going to continue happening. So they wanted to fight for custody to get the kids. So the girls were always very standoffish and very cold towards them. And to make matters worse, the Bakers were instead of protecting the girls, they were putting them in the middle, and they were continuing to talk about everything in front of them. So Linda, she would email Barbara, Matt's mom, and she would be like, hey, let's cooperate, let's figure this out. But she never got responses.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Right.
So she finally was like, well, I'm just going to file for custody. And they've they have no money at this point. They've already spent so much money on all this stuff, but they're going to fight.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how you
It's
do
your
that, but
grandkids.
yeah. And a year and a half later it took to go through all of this, but oh my gosh, this is awful. So the investigators ended up going to trial, or having another court situation.
Yeah.
So they ended up finding, remember back in part 1 when I told you about how the Bakers had this foster care house?
Yeah.
They ended up tracking 6 of the kids. I think they had 49 foster children total. So they found 6 of these kids to come and to testify. So what these kids said is that they suffered sexual and emotional abuse at the hands of Oscar and Barbara Baker. They said Barbara was emailing Matt while he was in prison. She was talking about how she was just like so encouraged that like she was talking about how she was encouraging the girls to like continue to be more distant from the Doolins. She was talking about how anytime the social workers would come, she would encourage the girls to sit across from them and like sit far away from them. And then whenever it was them with the social workers to like sit close to us, you know, so it looked like they didn't like it. Just the way that she was like, you could just tell it was really shady.
Playing mind games with them.
Yes. She was caught like on the emails. She was like talking bad about the Doolins and all. I mean, it was just like a lot of evidence that they were able to use in this like court case. Okay. And then they had like witnesses come, people who were from Kerrville, from the town, who couldn't really like back up like that these were like stand-up people. Yeah. You know, Matt was just like, they were the greatest parents, they were this, but nobody else in town was able to say that about these guys. Yeah. So we have some girls who were fostered by them. And let me just tell you a few of the things that they said. One of the girls testified. She was 16 years old. She said Oscar, so this is Matt Baker's dad, just to make sure everybody's clear.
But was his real dad or was his foster dad? I couldn't remember. Everybody else was foster kid and he was.
I think so it's Oscar and Barbara are they have like Matt and they have at least one other
that are theirs.
Okay. Then they were just fostering kids.
Okay.
Like throughout the years.
To get money.
So this one was 16. So a lot of these, what's worse about this, April? A lot of these kids were, what's the term? It's like MR.
Oh, had intellectual disabilities.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, they would choose them.
Awful.
On purpose. Vulnerable.
People need to rot. Okay, let me tell you. One of them, 16-year-old, she says Oscar ran, I guess they're like outside at the beach, whatever, they're at the pool. He like ran his fingers up her legs, grazing her butt, made comments to her about what it means to be in love. Another girl testified that Oscar kissed her, putting his tongue in her mouth when she was 12 at the time. Said she could never forget how he smelled and how he tasted. Awful. Another girl testified saying, it's added that these people are like in their 30s probably.
Yeah.
This one testifying has the mental capacity of a 7-year-old.
Oh.
Wow.
So
these people are
sick. 7-year-old. She's scared to death. She's rocking back and forth on the stand. She's scared to death. She said that Oscar touched her in the wrong places.
Oh.
He put his fingers in her vagina while she's vacuuming. She said that Barbara used to laugh at her, would call her Porky Pig, would call her Fatso, would call her retarded. She ended up telling social workers that she went to the psych ward for a week because she told the social workers. So that's why she was sent to the psych ward.
Because they thought she was making up something? Thought she was making this up or what?
I guess. I don't know what damn social workers are just as bad as these damn parents.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to tell them what happened.
Right.
And they sent her to the psych ward for a week. And then guess what? They sent her back to the Baker's house, which is awful because she's excited to go back because she does not want to be in the psych ward. She doesn't want to be in the crazy house, is what she says.
Yeah.
So then finally there's another one. So this is how many kids? This one testifies that while Oscar's bathing her, so I don't know how old she is when you're being, unless she has a mental.
Yeah, but you learn how to bathe yourself.
Yeah. So he said he touched her when he's bathing her. Then in the bed, through the sheets, he touched her. And that progressed to performing oral sex on him, then to full sexual intercourse. And all all of this was beginning when she was just 8.
Wow.
Freaking 8. And that he passed her around to other people. One of them being a minister in Kerrville.
Oh my God.
Who was a minister for like youth, and then like a few months later he moved out of Kerrville.
Wow.
She was told that God was watching her and not to tell anyone. She said also that Barbara was very emotionally abusive.
So you wonder, didn't Matt get this too? Or was Matt forced to involve in watching it at a young age so he became like a sexual deviant?
I think that was what happened. But what the sister never went to any trial, never went to the trial. Like the full sister, she lives up in Dallas or something. She never came to the trial. She never did anything. And then they had one of the daughters, Kinsey.
Yeah.
She went up on the stand too, and like was like, I don't love, like talking about the Doolins. I don't love them. They don't act like you can tell she's just been completely, because she'd been living with them for like years.
Yeah.
Finally, I don't know if it should be surprising at this point after all these testimonies, the Doolins got full custody of the kids. Thank Jesus.
Which you think it's early, but that's a lot of time to brainwash those kids. So I bet it was rough. The transition from, they hate them right now. So I bet it was rough for the Doolins to take them in that relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I
think one of them went to Texas Tech. Is it Kinsey?
Maybe.
I think she graduated. I think she graduated from Midway and went to Texas Tech. I think it ends up being like happy story later on.
Well, no charges were ever filed against Vanessa, and Matt lost all of his state appeals. And like I said, in July of 2020, he was denied his request for a new trial. Always
Deny that sorry SOB. He's sorry.
None of them. I don't know whatever happened. I guess nothing happens to those parents.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Maybe statute of limitations.
He was 80, the dad, at this point.
Statute of limitations probably had already,
I bet,
expired. Or
what is the statute of limitations on child abuse?
I don't know.
I don't think there's one on rape anymore, is there? Or is it 8?
I don't know, but I think it's just like if it happened, then you can't say anything or you can't be tried if it's so long. I don't know.
That's what a statute of limitations.
Most I know. I mean, I don't know all the statute of limitations, but I think the only one that doesn't have a time frame is murder, I believe. I may be wrong. Who am I?
30-year, for sexual assault or sexual abuse of a child, there's no statute of limitation at all.
So that doesn't make sense. That if that's the case, then some type of charges or something should have been filed.
But it means it would need to be investigated, and somebody's going to have to do the work. And maybe they did.
And then at that point, it's just a bunch of...
Well, then, and these kids, if they're like mentally handicapped and stuff, like serious? Maybe they don't really know. Maybe they're like me. They don't know what to do. Shit. I mean, it's hard. You don't know what to do.
And did Barbara know all this was going on? All this, as far as the sexual?
No. Well, I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I would.
Did who know this?
I mean, it could be that Barbara didn't even know all the sexual stuff was going on.
Oh, Barbara.
I mean, I'm sure she probably did, but I mean,
I feel like
Barbara knew.
She was just as
she was choosing the kids and feeding them to her husband.
Yeah,
that's what she was doing.
That's right.
You don't. You don't just go out and choose the kids with ID.
I shouldn't have said that. Yeah,
she knows. She knows what you have in your shed too.
She's over here getting all.
By the way, she knows what you got in your shed.
That bitch knew. Oscar, and you know what? Don't even let him get tried.
I knew better.
Well, you dumb.
I don't want him to go to jail on earth. I want the Jesus that Matt said was forgiving him to deal with these damn bakers. This is okay. So I've already talked bad about the Buddhists with
We did not even really talk bad about Baptists. And
yeah, you said Buddhists.
No, and I've talked bad about the 7 day
she's saying
Adventist.
she's talked bad about
Because
Buddhists.
we've covered like every religion,
Catholics.
basically.
No, but
Catholics,
listen,
but
these listen, I'm gonna
these
tell
are
you what.
probably the worst.
This is why they're the worst. They don't cuss. They don't dance. They don't drink. Bitch, we know you cuss, and we know you dance, and we know you drink.
And
so why are you trying to front? And I'm trying to be hood.
What I tell you at my mom's house a few weeks ago.
Don't.
Pimp C told you back in 1995.
What?
Pimp C told y'all these preachers are false prophesying, fucking hoes, and getting paid.
He didn't want to say it. He's so cute.
He's so Baptist. He didn't want to
You
cuss.
must be so Baptist.
He's so Baptist. But I was telling me and my mom were talking about this case last night, and I was like, it is true. Like, white Protestant male, like, you assume
Okay,
they're
what does
automatic.
Protestant mean?
Means like you're a Christian.
Oh, okay.
So white Christian male, right? And so, like, you believe in God, you believe in Jesus, and that is the way of America. It's what America would prefer everybody to be, right? So replace that with, I don't know, black Buddhist female. She did it.
Oh, hell.
She wouldn't have got past that first allegation. Replace that with Mexican Catholic female. Oh, she did it. She's a Catholic.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, or she did it. Just the fact that he's a male, one up. And
What if you're a white Catholic female who don't go to Catholic church?
you did it.
Is that you?
And you look black.
Oh, I don't know. This man just got away with way too much for too long.
He did, and then he stuck in jail now, so
Never
Crazy.
let his ass out.
That's crazy.
no.
Caroline, Jesus.
I don't know if I'm more. Well, never mind.
What?
I'm just saying I don't know if I'm more shocked. I mean, I know the story, I know about Matt Becker, but I didn't know all this about his parents.
I did not either. I literally
So I don't know if that's more shocking
finished this. That was at the end of the book.
It's a good stinger at the end.
I was like, "You're just gonna throw this at me at the very end, like in the last chapter?"
Aren't
And
you
then-
glad you finished it? Let's go back to Sweepy.
If I was him, I would have brought this up in my defense. I saw things, made him think he saw things that made him mental.
Well,
You know, as a
Made me
child,
a- made me a sexual deviant.
as a child or
don't
something. I
know
mean,
if-
this has to have been going on.
I know, but I
when
don't
he
think
was-
that they could have. I don't know if they
You never know.
could have brought that up in the trial. I don't know if they knew about that in the trial because it didn't come up until they came to but
what I'm saying is,
saying
what I'm
if he
saying,
was
if
Matt-
I was Matt Baker, I would have brought this out.
I'd have been like, well,
Hey,
I was abused.
No, it's serious.
Well,
People
he's
use
such a
that stuff
freaking
as a
liar.
defense. Yeah. He probably could have used something like that as a defense.
He probably could have, but he was.
I mean, I'm
he
glad
had
he
so many
didn't
lies that he
in
did
getting
probably
what
didn't
he's
even
getting,
know
but
that he could. I mean, I don't know. He couldn't do that because where would he go move to?
Where? Okay,
Well,
so
yeah.
really quick, let's talk about Cassidy. Caroline, do you think he killed Cassidy?
Oh yeah.
Do you think he killed Cassidy?
And even
The daughter?
Vanessa.
I don't remember. I don't remember
Okay,
that.
so
but
in
I'm
her-
gonna say he did just because he killed his wife. I mean,
in
yeah, I'm sure he
Vanessa's
did.
testimony, that
Uh-huh.
was something that she did add. She's like, it wouldn't. She said it wouldn't put it past me that he,
Killed his
this
daughter.
would have been the second one.
Right.
Because whenever Matt found out that they were exhuming Carrie's body, he found out like the police are exhuming the body, and he said, "Whose body?"
Yeah.
Right. And he probably had the mentality, I got away with it once,
Yes.
I can get away with it again.
Yes.
Okay, and so I don't know if I remember reading the book or reading maybe the article, Texas Monthly about it, but the whole Munchausen by proxy thing came up because the
he
baby
loved
was
the attention.
was very sickly, like had a brain tumor. So, and then you have the church behind you, so people were they got so much attention and so many things because she was in the hospital for so long, right? Then she got better. And all that attention kind of goes away. But that's the attention you want to go away. You want your kid to get better. So then he created a way for that attention to come back by killing the baby.
And apparently there's
now
like
here's all this sympathy.
There was like a trach that was in her like throat or whatever, and apparently this trach had been taken out or something, and it shouldn't have been, or vice versa. It one or the other was the case, and whichever the case was, it was like that should not have happened. It should never been have out or something. And so why the doctors were like so shocked. They're like, she should not have died. Like she was not going to die.
Yeah.
But it was never investigated because I don't know. It just never was. I guess it was Hewitt Police Department.
And I feel like Kari was going in there to check on him, and he was like,
he stopped her
and was like, let me handle it. I'll do this.
Yep.
You go
Yep.
rest.
Yep. That's exactly what the book said.
He intercepted it.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, he
did it.
Crazy
and
ass.
he just didn't get
sick psycho parents. He is sick and psycho.
Learned behavior.
But don't.
Absolutely.
Who gives a shit? Do not feel sorry for his ass.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, I don't feel sorry for anybody.
No,
It's like,
I hope he gets denied over and over and over every time he comes up.
Do not feel sorry for his. It's like Ariel Castro. I don't give a shit what Ariel Castro went through.
How could you feel sorry for him?
Well, because once you learn the things that they went through growing up,
what did he go
through?
But
you don't know that. But you don't know that he went through that growing up.
No,
I don't want people.
You don't know that.
I don't know. We don't know.
Oh yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. He hadn't spoken.
Yeah.
No, because listen, every time he was interviewed, I played the fifth. I played the fifth. Play the fucking fifth. Really?
Yeah.
How many times are you gonna play the fifth? Just tell. If you're innocent, tell your story.
Wow.
I played the fifth. Play the fifth.
Well, you guys, Caroline,
you got
are
a whole bunch there
to edit or what?
No.
Oh,
Everybody.
so much information.
I don't think we have that much to edit.
No. So, are you good? Do you feel good that this is off your table?
It was
like
more interesting than I thought it was.
Okay.
Already.
It's such a big story.
Caroline.
Yeah.
Such a big story.
I knew it was good, but I didn't know like all the details. And man,
see what books give you.
You actually read this time? You read a book this time, or did
this
you
is
just?
my second book to read.
Really? I'm gonna give you a high five right now.
In her whole life? Don't say in your whole life.
I mean, basically.
I mean, hey, I've only read 2 books in my whole life too. So.
And I didn't really. I
And one of
read
them's
them
Beowulf.
on the phone.
Was
Like
it Beowulf and Shane?
And Shane.
I thought you read Huck Finn too. No.
I read.
You read
Shane.
that Cindy Portier book as a
Yeah,
grown up.
well,
I read that
3.
3.
He does not
Everybody Poops book, but it's, no.
Okay, so this ends our Waco town. We are done. I know it was only 2 stories, but they were the biggest
they were
deep
some-
dives
they were
I think we've ever done.
Pretty good Waco stories.
Yes. So Crested Buttes. When you're in Hewitt and you see that street, drive all the way down. There's Matt Baker's house. And then we gave you a bunch of things to drive by in Waco for the Lake Waco murders. Next week is our first cult story. And we're not taking it to Waco, at least not yet.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying, y'all. You got Chip and Joanna on one side, making Waco look like this beautiful, glorious, glamorous city, and then here y'all two talking about all these murders and stuff that go on Waco
Well,
on
And
the
our
other
shady
side.
investigations.
Yeah,
Maybe
man,
they need to come
so-
on here and they need to clear some things
Oh,
up.
that'll never happen.
You got to know the good and the bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
you're right. I guess you're right. Yeah,
yeah.
good and the bad.
I mean, we're just trying to tell everybody what's going on in Waco. You know, whatever.
Guys, we're so glad you tuned in. We will see y'all next week. Don't forget to log on and RRS. What does that mean?
Rate, review, subscribe, go on the Facebook, post something, listen to what we say. Listen to all the things that we say and comment on them.
You sound real thirsty like Vanessa Bulls. And shoot us an email and let us know if you have any questions about Matt Baker or if you think Matt Baker killed Cassidy.
Oh, please.
What are your thoughts?
Listen, if you're like, oh, they probably don't care what I think. Actually, we do.
We may even read
send
it.
us an email because I haven't checked that email box in like months and months.
Yeah.
So I hope you haven't emailed, but if you did, do it again.
Hey, rate Sweet Pea. How did Sweet Pea do? You should give him a rating.
No, you don't have to rate me. No.
We were glad to have you back, Sweet
I
Pea.
don't need to be rated.
All right. So we will see y'all next time, all right? For the Colts.
Yep. We
Yep.
sure will.
We're going to talk
See
about a
y'all.
couple Colts this month. Never forget to
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
Peace out.
Later.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.